All right, yeah. All right. So now this is recording, which is all right. So fucking tomorrow is what a lot of people have called the worst fucking UFC fight card of this year.
Pretty tough.
Which is like, it's like, yeah, bro, but like, it's like, what's your second choice for MMA on a Saturday? You know what I mean? Like fucking PFL, like,
Yeah. Tough.
I mean, it would be that actually, but like that's still a huge drop off, even with Macy Barber versus Aaron Blanchfield.
Yeah, the co-main is the UFC
The
this week.
the co-main's interesting.
Yeah, it's better than anything the PFL will ever have.
Yeah, there's other fights too on this card that I think are gonna be good. Like, I mean, we'll get to it, but like, I think Filho versus Allan Nascimento is probably gonna be like fight of the night.
Yeah,
maybe not the most exciting like performance, but definitely I think that's gonna be a war. But because like you got two like sick grapplers.
Yeah.
But
what's the first fight?
What's what?
What's the first fight?
Rayanne dos Santos versus Alice Ardelean.
Oh God, that's a horrible fight. Well, man, I guess since Alice Ardelean literally shouldn't even be in the UFC, I'd have to take the other girl in that one.
Yeah. So all right. So let's get into this first fight, right? Rayanne, do you not have the card in front of you?
No, I don't. I don't have it.
Oh shit. All right. Shit. I'm gonna have to be like in and out. Fuck.
If I was at my house, I was ill prepared. I'm not at my house.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, your girls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, what a lot of people don't know about you, Kloss MMA, is that you're about to start creating content.
Yeah, dude, I need to just send it. I need to just send it.
Yeah,
you're not
send it.
So lazy after work.
Send it, like fucking Strickland says, bro.
Yeah, just rip her one time, bud. I made one video once upon a time, like, I don't know, 2 months ago or something. It's just trash. But
yeah, but just put it up and you'll get subs.
Oh, I put it up. It's on there. Yeah, I put it up.
It's on your channel?
My one video.
How many subs do you have, bro?
Maybe like 11 or 12.
Oh shit, you got okay. Everybody watching this, subscribe to Kloss MMA.
Yeah, give me a 50. It'd be easy just to stream, dude. Just turn the stream on. Don't have to edit it. That'd be my bag if I could get that cooking.
Yeah, the problem with that though, dude, is like it's like videos and everything else. But we'll do. You want to do that right after? Yeah, we could do that.
I may not have time today. But.
Okay, all right. Anytime you want to like stream, dude, like on both channels, like fucking hit me up, dude. Really?
Hell yeah.
Or like hit me up. Like how I always say, like usually I'll message, at least in that group chat. I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna go live in like 5 minutes, but like 5 minutes really means like fucking half an hour. So like, so if you're like, if you're like, yo, like, can you want to stream yards like on both channels? Like, I'll almost always be down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll start doing that.
Yeah, bro. All right. So first fight is Rayanne dos Santos versus Alice Ardelean. You're saying that Alice Ardelean shouldn't even be in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's a 9-7 record, I think. See, the problem. Well, yeah, I know it's rough, right? I mean, it might as well be the other way, you know.
Yeah, I mean, probably like 2 of those split decision wins or something.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Rayanne dos Santos is one of the cutest girls in the UFC. And she's, her record is according to that, right? Meaning, like, she has 2 UFC fights, and she's 0-2. They're both split decisions. I feel like the last one was a robbery.
She's in the UFC is wild, dude. She's got like a pancake ass.
No, dude. There's this one picture of her in like she's got like yoga pants on that look like her skin. So you can't you know what I'm talking about? So like yeah, find that picture and it'll change your mind.
I don't know again.
If you scroll back in my community tab a long time ago,
I wouldn't kick her out of the bedroom, but I wouldn't go out of my way to. If I saw her at the store, I wouldn't be like, "Oh,
bro." So I was one time a long time ago, right? Like when my channel was like young, which was actually last October, or November maybe. But I did this I did a round of 16 tournament on my community tab, like by poll, like for the hottest female UFC fighter, straight up Ulysses, straight out of Ulysses, like live streams, you know.
mm-hmm.
And Rayanne Santos made it to the quarterfinals. I disagreed with a lot of it, but it's like I left it up to the people. But I basically found the hottest pictures that are available of each fighter, which like misrepresented the fuck out of a couple of them, honestly.
See, but I think a lot of people, they like the face card more, dude. I could give a fuck about a face card because I would put Jocelyn Edwards pretty up there. And she has no face card.
Yeah, dude.
But dude, who's looking? What kind of...
This is the race card, though.
The what?
I said this is the race card, though.
That too.
And that's just... But, not like... Rayanne Santos, when I say cute, I mean cute, like in the face. I'm not saying the hottest, but anyway. So normally, all right, so like, like people have there's the paradigm, I'll call it, of attractiveness to fight acumen, right? Unless you're Alexa Grasso, and then even then it's like you're not that hot or good. But Rayanne Santos wins this fight in my opinion. Because honestly, she's just better everywhere. I mean, neither one of them is like, is fighting for the belt ever, but like, it's,
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be okay, here's how this fight goes, in my opinion, right? It's going to be point fighting with like some clinching and some gay control time, and basically, Rayanne Santos is going to probably win a unanimous decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, it's not a lot of action. But, all right, so next I might, dude, I'm considering locking her, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I could see it because, dude, the other girl is just so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, no, she is actually terrible. So, all right. So, next fight before we make ourselves sick. Bolaji Oki versus Michael Aswell, which is a last minute short notice replacement, right?
Who was the last minute fill-in? Who filled in
Michael Aswell, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing about this, right?
Slight underdog.
Dude, he's a huge underdog, but like I'm taking Oki, but very tentatively because Michael Aswell, he's got two very his he's 9-2, but he has two losses. They're both very respectable. All right, one is to Yadir Del Val, who killed what's his name? I think it was on the last card. No.
Last card.
Yeah. He fought Connor Matthews, I think. Yeah.
Right? Oh yeah, the Connor. Okay, God, Connor Matthews is so shit.
Yeah, he's bad. But Yadir Del Val is good though, and losing to him and then losing a split decision on the Contender Series to Bogdan Grad, right? Like
that's not a bad loss.
I mean, those are very respectable losses. The thing is, like, in my opinion, Bolaji Oki is a bit underrated. Chris Duncan is super underrated.
I feel like everybody is on Chris Duncan these days.
Well, yeah, now they are, dude. They weren't when everyone was on Vucenich's dick, and I had that sweet underdog pick from Chris Duncan. But
that was stupid, dude. People really. That was another one where I was like, dude, this guy is not very good, and people were hyping up Vucenic so hard. And I would watch his fights and be like,
he's a great kickboxer, but he couldn't grab. I mean, he came. You say, yeah. I mean, he's not that good. It came down to just like, I mean, for me, it was just like, all right, this dude can't grapple. Look at the way Chris Duncan subbed Bolaji.
Even striking technique for technique is like he's kind of slow. It's kind of doesn't throw like extended combos, and the volume really isn't even there.
You talking about percentage?
Yeah. So I was like,
yeah, no, for sure. Yo, so Bolaji though, what do you?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Bolaji.
yeah, like.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same. That's pretty much exactly how I saw it. I was like, Aoki should win. This other guy's coming in on short notice, but yeah, his losses aren't bad. He's got a pretty good record for 9-2, and I can't remember. I wish I had it in front of me because he had some wins over some decent regional guys.
He does. He does, and also.
And I was like, man, if he was coming off a full camp, I might be picking him.
Yeah,
but short notice is tough, though.
Yeah, it is, and like I mean, so like initially it's like I didn't rate Bolaji split decision win, which should have been unanimous over Timmy Kwamba, but then Kwamba got that knockout over Romero, and then it's like, okay, that ages like decently for sure. I also think Bolaji has a lot of power that I did watch one of his regional fights. He's like, he like, I don't know. It was. I think he would have he was originally matched up with Medeiros, and then Medeiros pulled out for this card. I mean, and like I had Medeiros, and he did win by split decision against Austin Hubbard, who's also like, I mean, it's like, some of the like that division, bro, featherweight. It's just like.
Yeah, I think since he's coming in short notice, the cardio will probably be even, and that'll make Aoki be able to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Bolaji Aoki.
Yeah. So it seems like I feel like at some point somebody's just gonna put the gas to him and ruin him in the late second, late third round. But a short guy off short notice, I don't think he's gonna be the one to do it to him.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Duncan was able. He was actually, if you watch the Chris Duncan fight, I mean, he got subbed, but he was dictating the pace, like and like when they're on the feet, and then Chris Duncan grabbed them into a clinch and subbed them standing up.
Yeah.
All right. So Bolaji Aoki.
Yeah. Agreed. Two agreements in a row on this one.
We only had 3 disagreements last card, right?
Yeah. I was wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't sweep every card, but I can sweep some. All right, Andreas Gustafsson versus Trevin Giles. What do you think,
dude? This is another one where I'm like, these are the types of guys that they will reference, like the people they reference that like Terry Bradshaw played against, where they be like, his freaking lineman was an electrician. Trevin Giles is a police officer, dude. He's got another job.
Trevin Giles is one of those fighters that like you see like a win over him as like, in the early stages of like every, like so many great, it's like oh, Trevin Giles has lost to so many great people. It's like, but like
he beat Roman Dolidze.
He beat Roman Dolidze.
I believe so, yeah.
Dolidze cut down to 170 or what?
No, Giles used to fight at 185.
Fuck. Okay.
Remember? He fought DDP.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he fought DDP. Didn't DDP start at welterweight or not?
No. He's huge.
No, he didn't. Yeah,
There's no way he's making 170. Dude.
Yeah. Nah,
maybe way back when he was younger, but never in the UFC.
Yeah, he did at one point, yeah, but not in the UFC. So yeah, Trevin Giles, okay. Yeah, he got trucked through by DDP, but
yeah. But I believe
Morales,
I think he beat Roman Dolidze, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me actually check that.
Yeah, I think because he's had like glimpses. There's been times in his career where I'm like, dang, he kind of looks all right, but I don't know. I just think it's going to be like all his other fights where he's going to look like he has the nicer, flashier technique. He kind of reminds me of like Brad Tavares when he's standing, like in his technique, but just none of that toughness that Tavares had whatsoever. So he's going to look good until he just gets knocked out cold. I think Gustafsson.
Yeah, he's been getting knocked out cold a lot. He got subbed by Gabriel Bonfim. He got like out point fighted by Mike Malott, which like, you know, I mean that's a bad loss. Yeah, I mean, although Malott just finished Radke, although you know that was like Radke's fight to win or lose, in my opinion. But you are right. He did beat Roman Dolite by decision in 2021, and like he got
win.
Yeah, by far. Like the last fight he won was in 2023, split decision against Preston Parsons.
That's not a bad win though, dude. Preston Parsons is kind of he's not good, but he's not like as crap as he like you'd think he'd be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But like, I mean, the main question
Ignacio Bahamondes at one point, Preston Parsons.
He did.
I feel like that's in my brain somewhere rattling around.
I think he did. Yeah, that's true. But so the main thing is though, what do you think of Andreas Gustafsson?
I think he's gonna look a little clunky and then just knock Trevin Giles out at one point.
That's actually exactly how I see it going. He fought. Okay, so he's got the Contender Series knockout second round, but so his regional stuff. I watched. I went back like a little bit far because he's got a 10-second first round knockout before the Contender Series fight, which is like, you know, his opponent was nobody. But his KSW fights, I mean, he was fighting an 0-0 opponent, but like he looks, I mean, you know, that's a higher quality 0-0 opponent. He's fought in all kinds of regional promotions, being FCR. He fought in Cage Warriors once. He has a submission on his second fight of his career by scarf hold arm lock, is what they're calling it. Which is like, yeah, that's a very scarf hold arm lock.
I don't know.
This is obviously this is not like this is not like a gi fucking grappling tournament either. It's like, the fuck is that? I actually don't know what that is.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, he can grapple, and you know, it says okay. So Trevin Giles is probably the most. I mean, he's chinny as fuck, but he's also the most vulnerable, I would say, to submissions. That's like, you know, I mean, I think the smartest thing for Gustafsson to do would just be take him down and submit him. But
yeah, that makes sense.
I think you're right. Because this is his first octagon fight, I think you're right about him, you know, looking a little clunky. And I mean, you know, people like to say that Giles won the first round against Carlos Prates, which he did by outpointing him. But Carlos Prates, the way that he fights is like he just basically just scans for his opening, you know, and that's what he did. He knocked him flatline, KO'd him, with his left straight. So I mean, yeah, I think Gustafsson wins for sure. Is he a lock though?
Trevin Giles, I feel like, has the smoother skills, but he just can't take the heat. So,
I don't
know if the only way I could see him winning is if Gustafsson goes out there and like just panics inside and just shuts down. But I don't know. He seems savage enough not to do that.
Yeah, Gustafsson has never been finished either. Which is definitely, I mean, it's not like Trevin Giles is really. I mean, Giles has knocked people out, but he doesn't have knockout power like that. To finish a guy like that for the first time. So yeah, dude. Andreas Gustafsson. Honestly, probably a lot.
He's pretty. I think he seemed pretty badass in his fights that I watched him. He seemed pretty fucking badass. I was like, oh, I'm glad they got this guy in the UFC. He seemed pretty cool. He's from Sweden, I think.
Yeah, he's Swedish. Yeah, this is
There's
a casual ass
I like when they get guys from places like that, like Sweden.
Do you remember Alexander Gustafsson?
Yeah.
Dude, Alexander Gustafsson was an animal, bro. He was the first guy that actually gave John Jones like a true run for his money.
Who did he go over? Teixeira was his fucking nice one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was his fucking nice. Yeah. That's his best one. That's where he looked his best.
Yeah, he was great. Dude, I don't know if they're related. The casual ass thing to not know.
I don't think they are.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure they're not.
Mad common last name. All right, so Andreas Gustafsson wins for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So next fight on this card, Jordan Leavitt versus Kurt Holobaugh.
Dude.
Yeah.
Kurt Holobaugh's wrestling is just so... His wrestling and grappling is just so not good at all. It's just really... It's pretty below mid, I'd say. He's like a...
Yeah, what makes me sick about Kurt Holobaugh is that he lost to Alexander Hernandez, who I really don't like. I don't like,
and like you
on a personal level. I don't know him. But like something about Alexander Hernandez makes me sick.
Is it all the shit talk going into the Cowboy fight? Maybe.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
That was where I started disliking him.
I also don't like the way he fights because like he'll strike in flurries and then clinch and try to hold people up against the cage until he catches his breath, and then that's how he fought. That's how he beat Jim Miller.
Yeah.
But he Kurt Holobaugh,
he didn't even look good in that win over Jim Miller. But yeah, go ahead on Kurt Holobaugh.
No, but like Holobaugh looked worse. And I mean, the thing is, Holobaugh's old as well. He's 38. Like, he lost to Trey Ogden. He did submit Austin Hubbard in his debut, but like, I mean, that's Austin Hubbard.
Dude, Fudd is decent. He's just slow, but he's decent.
I mean,
he's a good wrestler.
My problem with him, I mean, I'm trying to think. It's like I bet on him and he won in I think it was by split decision.
Maybe against Dakota Bush.
No. It was a UFC fight. He won.
That was a UFC fight. He fought Dakota Bush. Really? I thought that was
it was his fight before last. I'm pretty sure.
Roosevelt Roberts.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me check. But yeah, no. My thing about Austin Hubbard is like he's a guy who fights like he's sparring. Like he doesn't understand that like he can go for a knockout.
Yeah.
It was big lag. That was and that was last summer. That was Nicolau versus Perez, very forgettable card. But he fought this Polish guy, Mikhail Figlak. Yeah, that's his only UFC win. Hubbard. Yeah.
Real? No, he beat Dakota Bush in the UFC.
Hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on.
I feel like he's like 3 and 4.
Yeah. I forgot it. Yeah, you're right. He's one of those guys that had like the opposite of Yusuf Zalal, like, the shitty first run in the UFC, gets cut, comes back good. He came back not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I forgot about his original run. He did beat Kyle Prepolek though.
Prepolek, Dakota Bush, I think was one. I don't know why that's in there. I remember that.
You're right.
Dakota Bush had the coolest nickname, dude. Dakota Harry Bush.
Jesus.
But who the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah, Jordan Leavitt. Dude, I feel like Jordan Leavitt's defense, his striking defense isn't that bad. Not like it's great, but it's good enough to where I don't think he's gonna get clipped and he's gonna be able to get to the takedowns.
Yeah. Also,
and then once he's in the grappling world at all, it's his fight to lose at that point.
Do you think so? Because I feel like so Kurt Holobaugh is physically bigger, right? And I feel like, I mean, he fought that what's his name? It's like Chris Juicy or whatever. His fight before last, the one that he won. He basically made that like, he managed to get the guy down, and then he pretty much like, I mean, not totally, but pretty much like wet blanketed the dude. Like, I mean, I don't see how he wins this fight other than that. He's not going to win it by striking. I mean, Jordan Leavitt knocked out Victor Martinez, which is like
with a knee in the clinch.
What?
Knee in the clinch.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Okay, so like
that's what I mean, dude. Once it gets into and across the void and he's in there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Leavitt's fight to lose.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree that it's definitely Leavitt's fight to lose. That's a good point. I forgot that was a knee to clinch, because I feel like what Holobaugh is going to do is he's going to try, like, I mean, he's going to have to initiate a clinch into a takedown. He's not going to shoot. He's not going to shoot on him. Kurt Holobaugh just doesn't shoot on people. He basically just grabs them and tries to like force them to the ground.
Yeah, I think that'd be his biggest mistake of the fight, is if he initiates a clinch with Jordan Leavitt.
Yeah, I mean, and he really doesn't have any choice, because he's like, Leavitt's such a better striker.
You think Leavitt's the better striker?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Kurt Holobaugh has no choice but to do, what he tends to do, which is like try to like, grab somebody and force them to the ground. He doesn't shoot single legs really, or double legs, or any kind of like. I mean,
Kurt Holobaugh is more of a boxer. I would think.
Bro, he's won his last fight. He lost. Well, yeah, of course he did. But the fight before that, he took the dude to the ground. And the Austin Hubbard fight, dude, he got Hubbard to the ground and submitted him. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter originally.
His grappling just seems like not that great whenever.
No, he's not. Yeah. I mean, dude, he's like, and he's a fucking old timer though too. He's 38. Leavitt's 29.
Damn, he's only 29 still.
Yeah, he's only 29, and he's his last fight. I mean,
what was his last fight? Patty?
No, but he did fight Patty at one point. His last fight was
Hooper.
Yeah, Chase Hooper subbed him.
Chase Hooper is the fucking.
Yeah, Chase Hooper's really good.
Dude, Chase Hooper is a finisher for what he looks like.
Yeah. I mean,
he's got like 90% finish rate or something nuts.
Yeah, despite that last fight, yeah. Yeah, he's getting better too. Like I think so basically, all right, so Leavitt lost to Pimlet by submission. He lost to Hooper by submission. Anybody people that are telling I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of like, filthy scumbag, just fake gamblers who are gonna push Holobaugh by submission, because they look at Leavitt's record and see he has submission losses, and Holobaugh has the one sub against Hubbard, but it's just not gonna be like that.
Bro. Not on a Pimblett or Chase Hooper level of grappling.
Yeah, no, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, and also like Leavitt did submit Matt Sales.
Is that the inverted triangle? Was that one?
I think so, yeah.
That one was sick, dude. That was sick.
Yeah, he beat Trey Ogden. I mean, split decision, but he beat him.
Kicking him from the outside. That was kind of a weird fight.
Yeah.
It was like he was waiting for Ogden to try to like engage with him, and then he was going to get to his grappling, and he just never did it. So he just backed up and kicked the whole fight.
Yeah, which is something that, I mean, like if he does that to Holobaugh's done. I mean, Holobaugh's not outstriking him. If Holobaugh initiates a clinch, the way I see it going is Holobaugh initiates a clinch, tries to force him to the ground, and
maybe I'm crazy, dude. I feel like Holobaugh's got better hands
than Leavitt, or just in general.
Than Leavitt, yeah.
Nah, dude, I really don't think so.
Leavitt's got better kicks, better knees.
Leavitt definitely has better kicks. I think
Leavitt's hands are kind of not really there. He's got okay defense, but offensively, I feel like his hands aren't really there like that.
I mean, I just see him getting in. I see him getting inside, and he's actually really good at attacking the body, which is something that
with knees though. Like,
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. His hands aren't really there. That's why I could see. The only way I feel like I see Holobaugh winning it is if it just stays to the hands.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, dude.
But I don't say it's staying that way. I don't even see the fight playing out in a hand fight, in a fist fight. I don't really see it playing out like that.
No, I don't either. I think Leavitt's a lock, to be honest. But so we agree. Jordan Leavitt's got this.
Yeah. The Monkey King. You're gonna see him twerk again, dude. He will twerk again.
Dude, he's like a bit. Dude, he's one of those guys that it's just like Jordan Leavitt's on his card. Fuck. Like
it's like what a shit card. This is gonna be. He's such a weird guy.
Yeah.
You ever see any of his interviews? He's like, I read 3 books a day. I freaking He has a wife and kids, surprisingly.
He's one of those guys where it's just like, all right, dude. Like,
he gives you don't live.
Yeah, he like half doesn't live in the real world. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's one of those guys. Like, I mean, which is whatever, but like, I mean, that's fine for somebody who's like,
fights for a living.
Well, yeah, but it's like, if you're gonna look at a fight, it's like, yeah, but if they're, that's fine for like, if you're even in the top 15 and not like on your way out, like, and you're just a weirdo. Like, I mean, Michael Chandler is an exception. I mean, that dude's personal life is like very strange.
Ian Gary.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing with Ian Gary though is like,
Habib married his cousin. I feel like having a weird ass wife is the best possible thing that you can have in MMA. The weirder and more fucked in the head you are, the better off you're gonna be.
I mean, there are those that would argue that child abuse is the best base for MMA.
For back in the day, especially because people didn't get into it unless they were like pushed into that type of thing. More, if you had like a healthy upbringing, you'd play like basketball, football, basketball, hockey.
Dude, there's they say that about defensive linemen. I forget who said it, but they're like, okay, like, if I'm profiling, some coach of an NFL team said this is like, if I'm profiling my receiver, right? I want a 2-parent home, upper middle class upbringing. He's like, defensive lineman, I want prison or football as their choice. Like, like, I mean, and like, it makes sense in a Sean Strickland kind of way for MMA.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, so we're both on Leavitt for that. All right, this next fight is actually gonna be good. In my opinion, I think it's like a sleeper. It's one of those fights that people like roll their eyes at, and then it actually happens, and it's good. So, fucking like, how the fuck you say his first name? Jafel Filho versus Allan Nascimento.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun scrambles in this one.
Yeah, they're both okay. So both these guys are very good grapplers. Like,
both of these guys, when you think of like good classic grappling matches, you think of like Diego Sanchez, Nick Diaz. They're kind of at that level that those guys were at back then. Nowadays, like just for their grappling, not their everything else. Those guys were still better overall. But
dude, Nick Diaz in his day was fucking amazing.
I think Diego Sanchez beat him in that fight. But anyway, it was just like scramble city. They were just like scrambling the whole time though, and I kind of feel like these guys are at a similar level of grappling that they kind of were back then. And it's going to be a similar. I feel like we're going to see a very similar, like it'll mirror like a Nick Diaz, Diego Sanchez type fight back then.
Do you remember? Damian? Like, I mean, Damian Maia is like one of the best grapplers I think ever in the UFC.
Yeah, he was up there.
Pretty underrated. But so there's a fight Do you remember Rinya Nakamura versus Carlos Vera?
If they're mine,
Like, a lot of scrambles, a lot of crazy scrambles. You know, by both.
what weight class is that?
That would be bantamweight, but
Yeah, you'll see more scrambles with the little guys.
Yeah. Well, these guys are flyweights, so you know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like so. All right, so here's the thing, right? Filho is an underdog. I don't have no idea why, but like people hunting for underdog bets, like Filho would be the one, I guess. Don't hunt for underdog bets, people. Like, don't let the fucking betting lines dictate your choices and all that. But yeah, no, I think Nascimento beat Jake Hadley, which is a unanimous decision. He took Tajir Ulanbekov. He took him. That was his debut.
That's I feel like that's a better showing than
it is.
Jake Hadley.
He lost, but
Jake Hadley's. Yeah, I know, but that loss is better than a Jake Hadley win.
Yeah, that loss by split decision. Yeah, I would agree. Jake Hadley, though, it's like what you were saying about Preston Parsons. I don't think he's as bad as people, have started to make him out to
be. But what
is
he good at, though?
I mean, yeah, you're making me defend Jake Hadley. I mean, yeah.
We can just stick to the fight at hand, I guess.
Yeah.
So you got Nascimento?
I got Filho. I think that he's got back-to-back submission wins in the first round. O'Day Osborne was the last one. O'Day Osborne, you could say O'Day Osborne and Daniel Barres. Those are both like not O'Day Osborne's not a nothing opponent, and Daniel Barres, is open to subs being. I remember Daniel Barres. He used to be a boxer, like actually. Before he went to MMA, but he had that win on the Paris card, Moicano versus Saint Denis card. But yeah, Filho arm triangled him, and then like a little bit past the halfway point of the round. I'm trying to see, what did he get Osborne with? That was a what? Yeah, he had Osborne with a rear naked choke. That's what I thought.
Which one of them has the better cardio?
That's a good question. See, now that's where I think Filho actually wins, because Filo's first fight and only loss in the UFC was Muhammad Makayev, and that's a fucking that dude's kind of a piece of shit if you know the stories that Steve Erseg and some others have told about him, like screaming at nutritionists and just generally being an asshole to people. But regardless, Muhammad Makayev is still a 13-0 undefeated fighter who, if he hadn't been cut from the UFC for just being a dickhead, he'd be like in the title shot contention. He
probably would have won the belt by now, dude.
Yeah, probably actually. And so now Makayev subbed Filho, but not till there were less than 30 seconds left in the third round, right? So this is how, like, that fight. I did rewatch it, right? So there's a lot of scrambles, not much striking. The first round was your typical, dance around and snipe strikes back and forth for like the first half, but like they both Makayev, so first of all, Filo's takedown defense is very good, dude. Makayev, I'm just looking at the stats on that fight to remind myself. 4 out of 8 takedowns Makayev did land, and he racked up some control time, like a good amount. But Filho had a couple of impressive scrambles where he almost subbed Makayev twice, actually. He was able to reverse a clinch against the cage and almost sub him. He's sneaky with like submissions, and he sees openings really, really well. He was just outclassed by Makayev, and it's his first UFC fight, bro. I mean, making it competitive with Mikhaev was.
When I envision the fight, dude, I picture just so many scrambles, and I just cannot get the image of Filho taking the back and getting like a second round full sub out of my mind. It's just for some reason, I just see it playing out that way. I'm like, I feel like he's going to get the better of the scrambles. He seems like the better scrambler. And I think he's going to get the better of the scrambles and get a back take and finish him off at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think he's just the way he fights, you know, he's just so much more finish hungry. You know, like Nascimento seems like the Jake Hadley fight, right?
Nascimento does seem like he got some quit in there though.
Yeah. He also will stay on the feet if like you know, he seems to be like, he doesn't seem like he has like the approach of fighting to literally just go in and attack and make it his fight. You know, like he's very he'll try to gauge the other person. I think Filho just fucking like
gets in there.
He's gonna grab your throat, he's gonna grab your arm, he's gonna grab your leg, like whatever the fuck he can do. You know, I mean, Nascimento's definitely a decent grappler for sure, like a more than decent grappler. I think it's gonna be probably a war, dude. Like, and you know, you're gonna see a lot of scrambles, like you said. I think that Filho probably he's either gonna get a sub or he's gonna have so much legitimate control time, meaning like, you know, they're on the ground and all Nascimento can do is stop a submission, completely unable to mount any offense. You know, like, you know, that, you know, but like, I think it's Filho. It's going to be Filho. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, you know, I mean, there's, like, I'm trying to think if there's, like, any, the only way I see Nash, I mean, it's like Filho can make some, it doesn't seem like he makes a mistake and then opens himself. And like, you know, even if Nascimento scrambles out and gets around a couple of things, like, you know, Filho is going to be able to defend against it. I mean, he just seems like, I mean, he's just the more seasoned grappler, in my opinion. I mean,
we're agreeing on every fight so far. I thought this one was going to be the one that we split on. But
on this one, no.
I thought you were going to pick Nascimento, but because I thought I was a little crazy going with Filho, but
no, I don't think so, bro. I think like, I mean, you know, look how he handles anybody that's not ready to just be grabbed and, you know, and put into, you know, a position of having to defend against a submission, bro. He's got, you know, subbed O'Day Osborne the second it was possible. Like,
yeah,
you know, his ability to see openings is really good. That's what I'm betting on. But all right, so next fight, main card. Zachary Reese versus Dusko Todorovic, bro. I mean, okay, so
it's
go ahead.
Shame. I feel like Zachary Reese's confidence and chin kind of got like his confidence got ruined. He's a little more tentative, and that tentative walking upness, like he doesn't take a shot as well anymore because of just getting slammed by Cody Brundage.
Well, actually,
I feel like that kind of fucked him. He doesn't fought the same anymore since that. He's fought kind of very like locked up, and it's a shame because he's got such a great build for MMA.
Dude, right. Yeah, but he's a great at 6'4", he's a great middleweight.
Dude, he's got such a good build for it. But still with that, dude, Todorovic is garbage.
Cash, bro.
He's so bad. He's so garbage.
Dude, Abdul Malik killed him. Christian Leroy Duncan, first round knockout loss. Yeah,
he's terrible.
Yeah. Dude, he got finished by Chidi and Jaquani, which is that loss has aged relatively well, but like it's just, you know,
all of it. I mean, his knockout losses aren't to like they're all the pretty good fighters, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, Christian Leroy Duncan. I mean, when he, in 2021, he took RoboCop Gargarias to a decision. I mean, he lost, but regardless. But I mean, dude, Soriano knocked him out. He's basically okay. So this is a guy that basically gets
Those
knocked
are
out and
pretty hard
knocks you out.
hitters. I'm thinking about
Todorovic or who?
All the guys he's lost to, Soriano.
I mean, yeah, Christian Leroy Duncan, though. I mean,
he's
accurate.
He's accurate more though. He hits you clean.
He doesn't.
Chidi is accurate and powerful, dude. Chidi is in the first round, especially. He's affected.
Yeah, he's gotten better, but
I love watching him fight, dude.
Yeah. His last fight was fire.
Against
Abdul Malik is very I
think he's on like a 4-fight win streak right now, isn't he? Chidi?
Yeah. He had that one kind of unimpressive fight.
I think it was at welterweight. Yeah, when he first got used to the weight cut, he was a little. But since he seems like he's kind of used to the weight cut, and he's been just.
Yeah, he's a lot better at welterweight. It's almost like Joaquin Buckley, honestly, because he got knocked out by Oleg Sachik. But then at middleweight he did knock out Dusko Todorovic. Yeah, and Barrio, but regardless.
But regardless of that, Zach Reese, man, and he's not very experienced either. What is this? Like his 12th fight?
Of his career, this is gonna be his 11th. Yeah,
11th fight, dude. That's not very many. And how many does Dusko have?
He's 12-5, so he's this is his 18th. But the thing about here's what I'm saying though, dude.
He's fought a lot of higher level guys too, and
but so what you were saying before about Zachary Reese, right? About the Brundage loss, dude. Like now, Julian Marquez is shit, right? Everyone knows that. But Zachary Reese, I don't think the Brundage loss necessarily made him. I agree that he may be a bit more tentative, but the thing is, like, he finished Julian Marquez in 20 seconds into the first round after the Brundage loss, knowing he needed to do that, right? And then his fight, I think it may have been his fight after that, Jose Daniel Medina, right? Jose Daniel Medina can take, he can take
The thing with that one is, it seemed like he came back in that fight after beating Marquez, and he seemed like for a little bit like, oh yeah, I've still got it. He just slammed me that one time, and then when he kind of unloaded on Medina, and he was like, oh shit, there are guys that are too tough for me to put out.
So
he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. I'll give him that. And then he was above. He was above his.
He's hard to knock out. That's
he's hard to knock out.
So good.
It was hard to knock out.
Gauthier was fucking landing. I mean, he did finish him, but it took way you're fucking sleeping with one or two of those punches. He landed so many knockout shots on Medina, and he was still standing.
But I think that on top of then Reese being like, "Oh, Cray, I can't just impose my will the whole time or I'll gas out." That on top of getting knocked out, it seemed like it's got him kind of tentative, which led to his devastating loss in his last fight. Dude, that was brutal. He looked horrible. He looked terrible in that fight.
Dude, Becca, but
he's not even just him looking good. Reese looked bad though. He looked afraid. He looked tentative. He looked bad in that fight.
He did. Yeah, he did. He did look bad. I mean, you gotta see, the thing is though, Todorovic is somebody. So so Azamat Bakov is somebody where if it's like you make one wrong move and you're waking up in the hospital, right? Like Todorovic is a guy where fucking if Zachary Reese needs a minute to shake off some insecurities, it's not like Todorovic is fucking knocking him out. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's just such a shit quality of opponent that I think Zachary Reese treats it like Julian Marquez and just goes in and fucking headhunts. He could afford to do that against Todorovic because Todorovic really is so bad. Like,
Yeah, I
mean,
think
he's so
Reese will
susceptible.
win, but I
He's
am a
still
little
chained too, dude.
tentative. I am a little tentative on it.
See, the reason that I'm not is because I mean it's like does Todorovic have knockout power? So yeah, he gets knocked out or he knocks somebody out. Like the thing with Zachary Reese is that Zachary Reese, you know, I mean, he didn't look the best going the distance against Medina, but he didn't like into that fight, dude. Medina, I mean, Medina really didn't fucking
How
have
old is Zachary Reese?
that. He's young, dude. He's what is he? He's
He's like 26. He only has 11
he's
fights.
oh actually no, he's 31. They're both
31, and
I
this
thought
is
he
his
was
11th
younger.
fight.
Yeah.
How old is Todorovic?
31 too. But you know, he's Serbian, bro. Dude, that's the thing about some of these Eastern European guys, bro. It's like it's like, bro, you know that fucking, do you know that Ruzaboyev is 30 or 31 years old and he's got 50 something fights?
Yeah, those guys
MMA
get it in over there.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, you know, and Todorovic, like, he didn't start losing until he was in the UFC, which is true for a lot of people. But you know, I think that like, you know, Todorovic is just fucked, man. Like, I mean, you know, he's so busted out, like at this point in his career, and yeah, it's like he's only 31, and it's like if people come back from that state, yeah, Kudalaba, right? You know, to enough of an extent, Kudalaba, but because Kudalaba was good for a minute, and then he was just getting killed. He got the back-to-back, you know, finish losses to Ankalaev, and then you know he was just getting finished. And then he came back.
Wouldn't
And
be surprised if Zach Reese fumbled this one, dude.
It was I just like, I mean, it's like, how did that happen, bro? It's not, you know, I mean, you know, it's like, look, you know, people are like, oh well, how the fuck did he fuck up against Cody Brundage? Huh?
He seems like a head case his past 2 fights.
I don't think so as much against Medina. I mean, he won a decision. I just think that Medina just had, like, you know, Medina was just like, Medina's the hard guy to finish. Like I said, that's what makes Gauthier so good. But even Gauthier Gauthier, he landed like, I mean, I'm not gonna look up the significant strike numbers, but dude, that dude was landing bombs on Medina that, you know, would have knocked out most people, and Medina is still, you know, I mean, Medina is not the easiest guy to knock out. You know, and like, you know, it's you know, and Zachary Reese, dude, it's like people are like, oh well, what about the Cody Brundage? I mean, yeah, you know, for sure, but that was his first octagon fight. You think about a lot of people's first octagon fight, and you know, Sergey Pavlovich gets knocked out in his first fight, right?
Yeah, it can go either way a lot of times.
Yeah, it's like, you know, and you know, it's like a lot of these guys off the Contender Series, bro. It's like it's like if they win their first fight in as spectacular fashion as their Contender Series fight that got them their contract, you know, it's pretty rare, and like those are the ones to watch, you know, like you know, like Del Val and
Peyton Talbot.
you know, well, yeah. I mean, you know, who else? Who is it? I keep forgetting his name. Fought earlier this year.
The Argentinian dude, not Ribovic, but the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's sick. What is his name?
Jacoby Smith too is another one.
Yeah, dude, that little Argentinian guy is sick.
Yeah, dude, I agree. I mean, you know, but then you have guys too, like Navajo Sterling, where it's like, yes, he's won his first two UFC
on the fraud
fights,
check, dude. I'm waiting on the Navajo Sterling fraud check.
Yeah, right. I mean, it almost happened in the last fight, and I fucking locked him. Like, I was like,
so we're both picking. So we're both picking Reese in this one, I guess.
Oh yeah. How can you not? Bro?
Yeah, it's hard. I just can't pick Todorovic. So.
Dude, there's like,
you just can't do that. Yeah,
dude, Zachary. Yeah. I mean, especially with Reese coming off like like a terrible performance and knockout loss against Bakoyev. But anyway, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna go so far as the lock Reese, but all right. Ketlen Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. I have a strong opinion about this, but I'll let you go first.
Really? Okay, yeah, I'll go first because I don't see where I land on it. So this is a kind of a Ketlen Vieira is just so inconsistent that it's like some fights her defense looks pretty good and her striking looks serviceable enough. But Macy Chiasson has had flashes of actual like being very good. She's had flashes where it's like, oh, if she would have just not did that, she'd be up there, top 5, top 3. What is she ranked now? Like 7th, 8th, something?
Yeah, something like that. I think she's gonna be I think she beats anybody in the division at this point.
So yeah, and Vieira is just so slow and willing to fight your way. She will fight whatever her opponent's style is. She'll be like, "Oh, you're a striker. I'm gonna strike with you then, despite not being as good of a striker. You're a grappler. I'll grapple with you then."
Right. And what you're describing too is like
he
kind
fights
of
into
classic.
the style of her opponent, and I think with that, I'm picking Chiasson to win this one. I think she's kind of underrated, Macy Chiasson.
I think she's extremely underrated. I also think so. First of all, just her size, right? Like she's 5'11", bro. Like she's the tallest in the fucking division, and she's an animal. Like what she did to Mayra Buenos, dude, you can see Mayra Buenos Silva's fucking brain poking through her skull, begging not to have a doctor stoppage happen. It's like, no, you need immediate medical attention. How that happened too is like, dude, Chiasson, she can move well, and she's so huge, right, for the division. So like, okay, so like kind of like the way if you remember how Manon Fiorot beat Aaron Blanchfield and how Manon Fiorot kind of fights in general, big for flyweight, right? Like she uses her size to her advantage and kind of has her upper body forward to avoid takedowns. She's so much bigger than Aaron Blanchfield. There's no way that Blanchfield is getting through. Like Macy Chiasson, so Ketlen Vieira did. I don't want to say. I mean, she kind of exposed that. She exposed Kayla Harrison just a little bit.
Yeah, but she made Cupcake look good, dude. She made Misha Tate look good for a minute.
I mean, Misha Tate's inconsistent, but Misha Tate's not the worst. The thing is, like, they have one opponent, so they have one opponent in common, right? And not that far back even. I think it's like two fights back, fight before last for Chiasson, and maybe 3 fights back for Vieira. So it was unanimous. They both beat her, right? But Macy Chiasson submitted her in the first round. Decision win for fucking Vieira. But like, dude, so Macy Chiasson also, like, in my opinion, has like, how do I describe it? She basically I'm gonna say that she's bloodthirsty, actually, is the way that I would describe it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not just like, it goes beyond, like, I mean, and like, I mean, goddamn, like, I mean, she's not she's not an attractive woman, but like, regardless, like, I mean,
neither of them are.
No, neither of them are. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that needs to be
that was nuts. Vieira calling the big jack girl Kayla Harrison ugly. I was like, Vieira, you're kind of ugly.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, Kayla Harrison is. I mean, she's fighting a man. To Ketlen Vieira, like, in that press conference. I mean, it's just like, Jesus.
I think I'd rather be caught in public with Kayla Harrison than Ketlen Vieira.
I mean, caught in public. I mean, it's like, oh, this is my, this is my brother's fiance or something. Yeah. She's like, what?
dude, not macking
Like,
on
I'll take
public.
I'll take the paparazzi picture of her giving me a dirty look, over for to be able to say that. Dude, fucking all right, all right. The only reason I bring up that Macy Chiasson is not a specimen in the attractive sense is that like I'm glazing her hard as a fighter and can't say
She's
shit
meant
on
for it, dude.
MMA.
This sport is meant for ugly women. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, of course. Chiasson though, I mean Chiasson's size is a huge factor. She also has power. She takes somebody to the ground, they don't get up, dude. That's really what
gonna beat the shit out of her then.
I mean, well,
Vieira is very beat the shit outable. She doesn't really move that well.
She is, and the thing about it's like okay, like Mayra Buena Silva, like whatever I mean, maybe it's that like she, I mean that Holly Holm submission was, definitely. I mean, she fought well. She was beating Raquel Pennington, and then that just ended. It just stopped and went the other way, right? Pennington was never that good, right? Now, the thing about Raquel Pennington though is like you go back far enough, and yeah, Raquel Pennington sub Macy Chiasson. She beat Ketlen Vieira too at one point. So they have more than one fighter in common. They yeah, that was a split decision with Pennington. The thing is though, I think that like Macy Chiasson is going to basically be able to, just physically impose herself and dominate. I mean, she has she might I mean, on the feet she wins. On the ground, it's just like it's kind of like Ketlen Vieira was able to defend against Kayla Harrison on the ground, but and it did expose a bit of Kayla Harrison's like her lack of
Vieira's submission defense though is up there. To be honest,
no, that's what I mean.
That's probably her best skill. Now that I think about it, Ketlen Vieira's best skill is her submission defense. That is her best skill.
That's not untrue. She hasn't gotten a finish since 2017 though, and that was a sub against Sarah McMahon.
Not her submission offense. Her submission.
No, I know what you're saying. And the thing is though, so I could see this going just like the Mayra Buena Silva fight, because Chiasson's probably
open.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Macy Chiasson doesn't give a fuck, dude. She's there. She's in that like 10% of female fighters, in the UFC specifically. That because Dakota Decheva is there, but she's not in the UFC. That justify WMMA not being separated from MMA the way WNBA is a separate thing. I think Macy Chiasson's in the sort of Amanda Nunes school of exciting fights happen, and Jocelyn Edwards too is another
I love watching Jocelyn Edwards.
Bro, what if that fight happens, bro? You're fucking your beloved Jocelyn Edwards gets her title shot against Macy Chiasson, who will become champion. Remember I said that.
I see them fighting because I feel like how old is Macy Chiasson? She's kind of old, ain't she? Like 34, which is not.
33. She's 33.
So she's still good for now, but it's gonna be about at least 2 years before Edwards is gonna be up there in the top 3.
How old is Edwards? She's like 27.
Yeah, 27, 28, something like that.
Yeah,
but she's like ranked like 5th, just now ranked. So she's got she'll need 2 or 3 more. She'll need 2 or 3 more. Definitely. And then by then, Chiasson's going to be like 37,
I mean, yeah. The thing about that though is there are those women though that get up there in age, bro, and they're still fighting. I mean, Holly Holm's like kind of trash, but Angela Hill, who's very hit or miss, but she got her first finish like pretty much ever at the age of 38 or 39, a few fights back.
Oh yeah, but I think that works unless you're fighting somebody as athletic as Jocelyn Edwards.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, the way you see the difference in size and weight in like just the three weight classes in WMMA and the UFC because like it's like somebody like Angela Hill who just fights till she's burger at strawweight, and then
Usually,
you got
there is kind of a difference between the development of some girls though, because some girls they get in on their skills, and some girls get in on their athleticism, and they're stupid. And Jocelyn Edwards is one who got in on her athleticism and is dumb, and it's took her a while to get to where she's like, all right, I'm not just going to get submitted or taken down or just exploited in one thing. And those are the girls that as they kind of get into their mid-30s, they look good. Macy Chiasson, she's looking better now than when she was 28. 34-year-old Macy beats
Irina Aldana. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I think, and dude, by the way, if Edwards finishes her next opponent, who's not Chelsea Chandler, like I'll be on the Jocelyn Edwards train.
Dude, I've been on the Jocelyn Edwards train for so long. I was so I thought she was gonna when she lost to Eileen Perez. I was like, that was your fight to fucking win. Damn it, God damn it, you should not have lost that one.
Dude, yeah, Eileen Perez. She's a strange one. You know who else?
That was an underrated grudge match because they got in a fight at the PI beforehand.
That's funny, dude. Denise Gomez is rated. She's really small, but she has power, dude. She just fought. I just had her as a lock. But
the lady fights are getting good.
Yeah,
I'm on Chiasson all day, dude. I think anybody's crazy not to pick Chiasson.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't give a fuck about the odds. She's a lock. I think she's gonna be champion. I think that Kayla Harrison probably beats Pena, but people are underestimating the submission risk to Kayla Harrison by Juliana Pena, I think a little bit. But regardless, I don't give a fuck which one of them wins the belt. It's gonna be whenever it is that Chiasson fights for the belt, she's just taking it. And it probably will be because think about it, Ketlen Vieira was the stepping stone for Kayla Harrison to get the title shot, right? I think she's still, Macy Chiasson beats her, especially by finish, and she's top 5.
Yeah, I feel like there's not really anybody else to get a title shot if she wins this one.
Yeah. Nobody who deserves it for sure.
They're starting to rebuild that division in a way, so.
No, no, very true. That's why they brought in Kayla Harrison, basically.
I guess the only way I can see her not getting a title shot next is because isn't Amanda Nunes in the gym now?
Is that? Yeah, but it's how real is that?
I don't know.
And also, there's Amanda Nunes because do you remember what's her name? Jermaine or Durandamy. She was when they had a featherweight division for women. She was the champion, and then she came back kind of recently, last year maybe.
She was old though.
Yeah, she was way too old. And it's strange that she came back. She hadn't fought in 4 years. She lost to who'd she? I think it was Norma Dumont
to a lower weight class, didn't she?
Because there's no more featherweight division.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And she looked terrible. She looked like she could barely even make it.
It was Norma Dumont, I think, that she fought, if I'm not mistaken. Dumont made her. Yeah, but anyway, all right. So Macy Chiasson,
all day,
dark horse of the division, definitely gonna win, in my opinion. And the opinion of my colleague Class MMA.
All day. That's a big
all right. The next fight, featured fight, is trickier than you'd think. So Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes.
Dude, I've thought about this one quite a bit.
Yeah, I have too. What do you think?
I think the old dog's got one more in him. I think Dustin Jacoby's got one more in him, dude. Because it's 2 years ago, I would have been on him all day in this one. And it's like he's really only been, I think he's been knocked out once, but he gets dropped a decent bit. But when he gets dropped, he gets back up and keeps going.
Yeah, he's a guy I think that like it's very much about who his opponent is. I mean, you know,
I don't really see him getting knocked out in this one, so I think he's gonna win this one.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the way he fought Vitor Petrino, who we now know, like, I mean, Vitor Petrino's fight IQ is like as bad as Leon Edwards. The way he fed his neck to Anthony Smith, like
that was nuts.
That was that, dude.
Did he throw that fight?
Dude, I mean, that was one of those. That was a card that was swept, except for that fight, by not only me but a lot of people.
It looked like he bet on himself to lose by submission.
Yeah, people always have those theories, but then
it was nuts though. Like, that one was like he like literally went down and like he like extended his neck out for it to be grabbed.
Well, okay, so here's what happened, right? So you got the main card, right? Kyle Barallo gets his first knockout against Jesus Christ. Just lost to what's his name? Or no, he just his opponent just got sick or whatever. He was gonna be the co-main, Paul Craig. So yeah. Kyle Barallo knocks out Paul Craig. Then Michelle Pereira does that crazy acrobatic finish of Ihor Peteria. So now Vitor Petrino's up, right, against Anthony Smith. Very finishable opponent, right? Now, in my opinion, Vitor Petrino's like, all right, I got to take this guy out in spectacular fashion, right? And so Vitor Petrino threw, like, he was throwing, he was just throwing strikes, and getting, like, they were busting through, Anthony Smith, trying to block them. He had Smith back against the cage. All he had to do was keep throwing, like knockout shots to get Smith to turtle up like he did against Reyes and Zhang Mingyang, right? Yeah. Instead,
and Johnny Walker.
Instead, what he did was he grabs Smith's waist, trying, I think, to do some kind of imitation of or some kind of performance bonus earning shit, right? Knowing that this guy can't really hurt him, and he's got his arms around his waist, and Anthony Smith goes, "Holy shit!" Like is it like this is like Christmas, like because and then gets the guillotine, like and it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Aside from
believe it, dude. At times, I'm like, how the fuck? He must. Right, I would never. I'd shoot myself if I was an MMA fighter and I lost to Anthony Smith in 2022 or 20. When the fuck was that? That was not long enough.
No, it was more recent. It was 301. UFC 301.
Oh, 2023.
2024. 301. Yeah, that was last year, bro.
That was the beginning of 2024.
It was in the summer, bro. Pretty sure it was a Brazil card because the main event was Pantoja.
That's
Pantoja. Yeah, it was rough, dude. I swept that whole card except for that fight, and so I mean, nobody bet on Anthony Smith. Somebody did, but nobody did. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
over Usyk?
What?
You had Pantoja over
Usyk? I had Pantoja. Yeah, I had Pantoja.
Got lucky in that one, dude.
I might, dude. I have yet to bet against Pantoja, probably ever.
Even against Figueiredo.
Dude, I had Pantoja. Well,
Figueiredo beat the shit out of him.
He did. I
made good money on that one because those odds weren't that far apart, and I was like, Figueiredo is going to beat the shit out of this guy.
Was that a main event fight?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that card. But I mean, I definitely didn't lie, dude. You know what's funny about Pantoja is like the only time I've ever locked him was against Chiasson, even though I've always like had him winning.
His loss to Figueiredo got him like good odds to bet on for his next like 3 fights because of that, and I was like, oh, dude, he lost to the best flyweight of all time. Like after that, he was like a minus 140, and I was like, oh,
Well, you said of
Easy
all
money.
time. You said of all time, dude. Come on, Demetrius Johnson.
Dude, Demetrius Johnson was not beating Deverson Figueiredo prime for prime.
I think Figueiredo is better at. No, I don't think he's better at bantamweight. That's better.
Crazy.
He made at the age he was moving to bantamweight. See, he did the opposite of what
Frankie Edgar.
I just got him.
Oh.
Holy shit! Are we still good?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, cool. Sorry, I just got a fucking DM from fucking Anakin going, Haunter made a bit about you. I don't give
a dude, all your haters.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, Anakin, I love you, but like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I was telling my buddy about your haters, dude. I was like, yeah, this guy gets.
Well, no, it's like Haunter. I think Haunter feels a little bit, I think Haunter's vagina is sore because, basically, because he loves to stir shit up, right? And go chat to chat. And so, like, all right, bro, like, you do that. Like, you may get cooked and exposed as a top tier paying member of MMA Joey. Like, that might happen, Doesn't mean you got to go making bits about me that Anakin is going to inform me about in the middle of me filming a prediction video. Almost fucking the recording off. But anyway, yeah, no. So yeah, anyway, what the bottom line, right? Is that Dustin Jacoby's fight IQ in a way similar to Jim Miller. I feel like, as he's gotten older, right? He's been able to, it's like there's a lot of guys like, it's like you get to be, I mean, he's not, okay, so what is Jacoby? He's 37.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Like, you get to be 37, 38, right?
That's like the last couple years in middleweight where it starts like, it's like, oh, is he still got it? Is it gonna?
And
that's where it starts.
This is light heavyweight. Now, Glover Teixeira is like the prime example, though, of like, it doesn't really matter about the division. You're either, when you're on either side of 40 like that, right? You're either a Tony Ferguson or you're a Glover Teixeira. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, or a Jan Blachowicz, for example. Like, light heavyweight's got a few examples.
Something must have been wrong with Jan to lose that fight to Glover, dude.
Well, I think he lost to. I think Ankalaev got his title shot back, like put in turnaround, as they say in the film industry, for years because of a bullshit draw, which was actually should have been a win for him against Jan. But
dude, it was the translation that did him in. The translation, he was saying, like, if they're going to judge like this, I don't want to fight here anymore, meaning like New Mexico or wherever the fuck it was. And then the guy translated it to, if they're going to judge like this, I don't want to fight in the UFC anymore. And they're like, oh, that's what you think? Well, no fucking title shot for you, man.
That is kind of open to interpretation because
he tried to clear it up after the fact. He had like another translator.
That could have, I mean, devil's advocate, that could have been damage control or like, devil's advocate or devil's advocate. I mean, who knows? Who cares? Because you know why?
My Russian buddy said seems to believe that it as translated. He said like he just said here. He didn't specify in the UFC, the translator changed it to in the UFC. Like he didn't say. He just said I don't want to fight here anymore.
Yeah, I've heard that theory, and like there have been moments like that where like with Johnny Walker, the first Ankalaev fight, where it's like he said they're like, where are you? And he's like, I'm in the desert, right? But like meaning like I'm in the desert, like I know where the fuck I am. Like
when it gets to translated things, it can get dicey, dude.
Yeah, dude. How about dude? Like one of the worst examples is or the best example. No. I know what you're talking about, but no. Victor Henry getting his dick and balls ruptured by fucking Basharat. And like just the look on how he went down from it, and then the look on it, so he had to be hospitalized, right? And And the doctor who spoke like the tiniest bit of English, but didn't really, and also just had like, I mean, it's like, what the fuck was he watching? He's like, no, he didn't kick your balls. And like Victor Henry's like, no, dude, it's all dick and balls. Like, so
That was nuts.
yeah. It was fucking, yeah, like translation shit is a problem. Dude, I mean, by the way, I always worry about, since it's happened twice, like, shadow banning. Cause whenever I do like, whenever I'm traveling, right, prediction videos, right, I'll have like like a featured guy who's also like I've had No Chill, I've had Paradox twice, Good Noodle twice, you, and dude, two of those streams have been shadow banned. One, the first Paradox one, and then the one with No Chill. I mean, No Chill and I got, yeah, we talked about some heinous things, but like, it's like I almost don't blame YouTube. But yeah, it's the kind of shit gets annoying. But I mean, dude, Victor Henry, it's a quote from Victor Henry. It's all dick and balls, and the guy was like, it's like, the guy just like didn't understand. Victor Henry had this look of like desperation and pain on his face. It's like, I need to go. It's like, bro, it's like, not only does this fight need to be stopped, but I need to go to the hospital
right now.
And the doctor's trying to tell him like, fuck you, no, like. And so, and then he came back and knocked somebody out, but then he lost the fight after that.
And then the guy Jacoby's fighting. That's the guy that got ripped.
Okay, back to
his ear ripped off, right? That's
he beat Gadzi Azulov, yeah. And that's the thing, bro. Bruno Lopes, right? So he wins.
No, that's the guy who's fighting later. Ramiz.
No, Gadzi Azulov is the guy that
Ramiz Brahimaj got his ear ripped off.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to remember. Yeah. I was thinking I was like, somebody fighting today was the guy who got their ear ripped off.
Fighting tomorrow, yeah.
Or tomorrow.
But Lennox Lewis, or not Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield.
Yeah. Well, he got his ear ripped off.
Evander Holyfield's MMA debut at fucking 60 years old. That
was boxing against.
No, yeah, that was dude. I'm joking. I'm joking about Evander Holyfield and Tyson.
I thought you meant when he fought. I thought you were going to reference when he fought Vitor Belfort.
And he was like 60. Wait,
he was like 60.
Who? Wait, when who fought Vitor Belfort?
Holyfield.
What? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
What the fuck?
Dude, I made so much money on that fight.
Yeah, for sure. How the fuck do I not know about that?
Yeah, dude. Vitor Belfort was only like a minus 150 against a 58-year-old Evander Holyfield.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, same with that's barely closer than Tyson, Jake Paul, but like dude, how about this? How about and I'm not talking about like betting on the event, because that's even more money. How about in life? Right, in my life, like as in like bets with many people, right? Eddie Hall versus Mariusz Pudzianowski. Everybody took Pudzianowski. Everybody laughed their asses off when I said Eddie Hall was gonna win. I'm like, all right, and
he beat the shit out.
What happened? He fucking
You beat
there's one dude still paying me in installments, but anyway, that hold on, Belfort versus Holyfield. It's crazy that I don't know about this. Oh yeah. Okay, wow, it's got its own Wikipedia article. Okay, so and this was fucked up. This was no, this is an exhibition boxing fight, not an MMA fight.
Vitor, but that's what I mean. It wasn't. Yeah, it was boxing. Vitor ran through him in like a minute and a half or a minute.
Wow, that's crazy. So
it was brutal.
Holyfield. This was in 2021 on September 11th, on the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Holyfield.
And bro, this is so. It's exhibition fights do this where it's like it's a card, but it's 4 fights. So they had David Hay from fucking from England. Dude, that guy wasn't bad. Actually in his day.
What was the main event of that card?
Is Belfort at Holyfield.
So what was the co-main? Tito Ortiz?
Oh, it was Silva versus Tito Ortiz. That was You know what was great about that fight?
Card that was, dude.
Yeah, but like I'm looking at dude. I remember how to. It's like how did you not? I'm trying to remember how I saw because I remember Silva versus Ortiz in a boxing fight, and I remember watching it live. But somehow I just don't remember Belfort Holyfield being the fight right after. It's crazy.
Dude, yeah, that was some of the most money I ever made on a fight. I was like, I can't believe these odds are close.
Dude, Silva, dude, I remember. I think I only bet this. This was like, so this was 5 years or probably 4 years actually after Conor McGregor fought Mayweather, yeah. And I mean, that was one of those ones where it's like I'm not even gonna bother, parlaying this card. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna avalanche, meaning like I know I'm putting up like 1,000 to make a profit of like 400, but that's 400 in the bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
On Mayweather. But I remember dude, I remember Silva knocking out fucking Ortiz. Like that made me smile, bro. Like Tito, I mean Tito Ortiz. It's like the shittiness and everything negative about Tito Ortiz outweighs everything positive. As far as I'm concerned. But anyway, but yeah, dude. I think okay, so dude, this is a tangent of a tangent. Back to the fucking meat of what we're talking about. Bruno Lopes versus Dustin Jacoby. I think so here's what I think about Bruno Lopes, right? Like Navajo Sterling a bit. He's one of these guys, comes in his same weight class, right? Comes in off the Contender Series, comes in off an impressive knockout, right? Gets to his first fight in the octagon, wins, but does not win in spectacular fashion. 29-28, but with Lopes in particular, and this is the thing too about Lopes, right? He had 2 Contender Series fights. Brenton Ribeiro knocked him out in the first round of his first Contender Series fight. And I'm sorry, Ribeiro's shit. Like, I don't give a fuck that he beat that dude with Tourette's. He's shit. Like, Adnan Mirzakhanov is about to fucking destroy him. But he finished Lopes in 1 round, and Lopes was undefeated at that point, right? So then, Lopes fights an LFA fight. He fights for the belt in LFA, wins by submission. Then he's on the Contender Series again, 2nd round knockout. Then his octagon debut, right? And it was on Duran Ribas, right? Against Gadi Azulov. He hugs his way to a goddamn 29-28 win. And it made me sick. Like, not just because like anybody else, that style of fighting pisses me off, but because Bruno Lopes was, capable, I thought, of getting a knockout over Ghazi Azulov was, not that much of a finisher, but and he did beat Brenton Ribeiro, and he had a prior fight in the UFC, but at the same time, like, he was going into that fight undefeated, like, but he's not a guy that has the knockout power that you would think. Like, I mean, his Contender Series fight was against Jose Daniel Medina that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
And and that's a hard guy to finish, dude. But still, like, Ghazi Azulov is, I clocked him as being overrated. I mean, I made money on Lopes, but like, regardless, he just like the prom. It's like it was like watching Navajo Sterling's first fight, or especially this most recent one. It's like the promise that they show just doesn't translate to the actual octagon, you know. And I mean, I think that whether he tries to knock, whether his game plan is to just like swing, swing, knock, like head hunt with knockout shots, or if he's gonna because if he tries to clinch his way to to a win by the decision win by hugging, like he did against Gadzhizulov. I mean, Dustin Jacoby's gonna bust it up with uppercuts and knees. Like, if he goes the other way and he's swinging for a knockout, Jacoby. See, I think that's what I'm saying. It's like Jacoby's kind of like Jim Miller, where it's like being, the older he's gotten, his fight IQ is improved. Where any like sort of like physical diminishing, like it's like as that goes down, fight IQ goes up. So there's this period of time where he could literally outsmart his way to a victory, like he did against Vitor Petrino, even a finished victory, like
Yeah, I think he'll win this one. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's not. It's like this is. Am I as Am I as Is he as unlockable as Bolaji Oki? No, but I'm hesitant to lock Jacoby just because Dominic Reyes made him. I mean, and it's like, and that was the fight too, where it's like, bro, Dominic Reyes is coming off like he's in a coming out of a dark hole, maybe not out of it. You didn't know going in, where he had just been knocked out in the first round by Ryan Spann. Like, that's a rock bottom situation, right? And then he was back, dude. First round had Jacoby against but that's Dominic Reyes, who just finished Krylov, who is, that was beyond impressive. So like Jacoby's losses. Menafield wasn't always shit. That's people have short memories, dude. Which is another way of saying people forget, but I hate that fucking, because anytime you say people forget, someone's got to do a goddamn guru impression. Yeah, a guru impression of a Rogan impression. Like, but yeah, dude, I think that also, like, so Reyes finished him. Menafield did not, neither did Mirzakhanov, and Azamat Mirzakhanov is a finisher. The Khalil Roundtree fight I thought was a robbery. I thought Jacoby won that. If you remember that.
Yeah, I thought Jacoby won that one.
Yeah.
You know what? And that card is burned into my head because a fight that made me sick was on that card, dude. Chase Hooper versus fucking Steve Peterson.
Oh yeah. That was what was the main event? It was Calvin Cater versus
Arnold Allan, maybe?
Yeah, was that when Arnold Allan somebody broke their leg?
When he like jumped in the air and fucking snapped his leg.
Which one of them broke their fucking
Calvin
leg?
Cater did. He went for like
because Arnold of course, yeah.
And he came down on one leg, but like off balance and incorrectly. It looked like he just was learning how to throw that kick.
Bro, he was gonna. The thing about that though is he was gonna lose that fight anyway. Arnold Allan was undefeated until he fought Max Holloway, and then he fought. It was Max Holloway and then Evloev, and those are two very impressive fighters. And Holloway barely beat him. And Evloev. Do people always?
Didn't he just lose again, Arnold
Allan? Nah, he beat Giga Chikadze, and then. Did he just? No, I'm almost positive. Oh yeah, wait a second. You're right. Hold on, because he was undefeated going into the Holloway fight.
I think that's 3 losses.
Oh no, I don't think he wasn't undefeated going into that because he lost to Holloway. He just beat Giga Chikadze in his last fight. That was last July of last year. No, his only other loss is way early in fucking Cage Warriors Fighting Championship. It was a decision loss to some Polish guy in 2014. No, yeah, he had one loss his whole UFC career. He knocked out Dan Hooker. He had beaten Yusuf, and then after the Cater fight, that was a stupid fucking 8 seconds into the second round. Cater did that to himself.
I thought Cater won the first round, didn't he? It's been a while since I watched that one. But we can stick to the fights at hand. Fuck it.
Dude, no way did he win that first round. He was
I can't remember.
No, he didn't. He was the first round was not particularly eventful, except I don't know, that one outstruck him by a lot. I can't see it in my head. I just looked at this stuff. But regardless, dude. Movsar and Holly beat him, Evelev beat him. And then he just beat Giga. Anyway, Arnold Allen. Next, when is he fucking fighting again? I like Arnold a lot.
He's kind of boring to watch, honestly. I don't really care.
I don't think so. I think that he, bro, it's like he's a better striker than wrestler. Well, actually, that's not true. It's the other way around. He's a better wrestler than striker, I think. I think he like after the Holloway fight, just wink at me. There you go.
Not you.
Oh, wow.
Looking at you, Giuliano.
That's
you and that beautiful hair of yours, dude.
Where, dude? All right. I would I just have to reject your advances, bro. I'm sorry.
No, dude, just wait.
Yeah.
We can watch baddies together. I'll force you to watch baddies.
Oh yeah, you and Aisha are in the same fucking reality show. She showed me an episode of that, and I have to admit that like there are a couple of those bitches that could fight, and they could fight. They could have MMA careers. Like I didn't know what the fuck you guys were talking about. That's why I was laughing my ass off on that stream because it's like oh my god, they're in the same reality show. But then she's like, yo, let me show you what the fuck it is, and they're tearing each other's hair out and like stomping on each other.
Good, so good.
Dude, they should make they should make a fight promotion out of that shit.
Baddies MMA, I would be.
Yeah, why not? Dude? Yeah.
Baddie FC.
Baddies FC, yeah. Dude, that's like, yeah. Put me in touch with whatever network that shit's on. I'll pitch it.
Zeus Network.
Yeah.
You can get on there.
All right. Yeah, I'll hit up the Zeus executives, bro.
Yeah, dude. Help the Zeus executives. Get your people to get you.
You know what? I'll do that if I sweep this card. If we sweep this card so far, because it looks like we're in agreement on everything so far. All right, so that was the featured fight, the co-main event. Wait, no. Actually, I'm sorry, that was not the featured fight. Featured fight is Billy Ray Goff versus Brahimaj, or I hate this guy.
Ramiz
Brahimaj. Not that I'm basically
Ramiz sucks, dude.
The loser of this fight is Brahimaj. Okay, so like Michael Gilmore is the guy that he subbed. I was trying to remember this guy's name.
Brahimaj got his ear ripped off, dude.
Did he?
By Max Griffin. Don't remember that fight?
Hold on.
Yeah, he got his ear ripped off, dude. Brahimaj is trash.
That was his first. Was that his first UFC fight?
Maybe it was like 2020.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, 2020.
I will never forget that.
That was when Thiago Santos fought Glover Teixeira. That was the main event. Teixeira subbed him.
That was a sick fight.
That was a sick fight, and that was back when that was like right at the end of that was Arlovsky beat Tanner Bosser in the co-main. In one of the most boring fights ever. And then Raoni Barcelos was featured. That was when Giga had that knockout by Kid. Yeah, that was when Giga that might have been his first really impressive knockout with the kick. In the UFC. Okay, yeah, wow, this is 5 years ago.
Brahimaj is trash though, and he's always been trash. And I couldn't believe that it didn't like make the news or ESPN or anything that he got his ear ripped off. Like it just kind of happened, and nobody cared.
I'm trying to remember that fight though specifically. How did that happen?
Like head fighting like up against the cage, and then like Max Griffin like just had like a look of shock in his eyes, and he's like, "Oh!" And the ref stopped it, and Brahimaj like, "What are we stopping the fight for?" And he's like, "Dude, your ear's coming off." And he was like, "Oh shit, my ear's dangling off my head right now. Let's go get this stone back on before I don't have an ear anymore."
And so, but it's not. So I'm looking at a third round TKO by elbow, not a doctor
elbowed him in the ear.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it wasn't. It must have been something, but his ear came off. Look, Google image it, dude. It was nuts. His ear was dangling off of his head. I've never seen anything like that.
Good. He has crazy cauliflower ear too.
Anyway, came off his head.
I mean, just they know both of his ears. I'm saying have cauliflower ear, and one is like sewn on, basically.
Yeah, Billy Ray Goff could beat the shit out of this idiot, honestly.
Well, Rob, he knocked out Mickey Gall, which is like
that's his only knockout win is against Mickey Gall, dude. That's
very true. He was like, and then even his LFA career was
no knockouts, none.
No, he had two subs, but like
he's not subbing Billy Ray Goff, dude.
He's not subbing Billy Ray Goff. He's got that one sub against, like I said, against Michael Gilmore.
Who's a bum, dude. Michael Gilmore, they just kept bringing back because
Michael Gilmore hasn't fought since.
He's never won. He lost on The Ultimate Fighter. He lost in the he's never won. I've never seen him win ever.
Right. No, I mean, dude, I'm locking Billy Ray Goff for sure, but like
they bring him in just to lose, dude. Michael Gilmore.
Yeah, word. Billy. So Billy Ray Goff is 9-3. He's 26. So he's 6 years younger than Brahimaj. He lost, but so 9-3. He his contender series fight was definitely impressive, and then his debut was impressive. Yeah, 3 losses. Two were way early in his career.
Oh, okay.
His third and fourth fight, both of them were in 2019. Those
one
was a what?
Who do you was Sutre Waters?
In the UFC, he lost his last fight, which was May of last year. Trey Waters is good. Trey Waters is a 6'5" welterweight. Who I think is he's definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say he's underrated. I would just say he's not on people's radar yet. He beat Josh Quinlan, which is actually a pretty good victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a champion in LFA coming into. He did get submitted by Bonfim and Gabriel Bonfim in his contender series fight, but then he fought for the belt in LFA, won it by knockout, and they gave him a contract. And so far, he's 2 wins into a 3-fight contract. Trey Waters. Now, Billy Ray Goff lost that fight, but he won his first fight by knockout in the first round against what's his name, Kinoshita, Yusaku Kinoshita. Now this guy he trains at Kill Cliff. He lost before that he'd been knocked out by Adam Fugit. Not a great fighter, to be honest. But the Trey Waters fight was interesting because that was on that the St. Louis card where Derek Lewis knocked out Nascimento in the main event. Buckley fought a fucking emaciated Rusaboyev. That was where the featured fight where Carlos Olberg fucking just pretended to run away and then turned around and knocked out Menafield in 12 seconds.
Menafield just ran straight at him and got blasted.
Yeah, dude, that's how he fights, dude. What a great game plan by Olberg, honestly. Yeah, this was dude. This card though made me sick because this was you gotta understand, dude. Like 12 years of Taekwondo, Robelis to Spain, my only fucking hero in the sport, right? And coming off a performance bonus earning debut in the UFC, right? And then Waldo Cortez Acosta, who I despise, he fucking wet blankets to Spain. and it made me sick. And then
You don't like
and then
this? You don't like Cortez Acosta?
I hate him so much.
Why?
Because he's the fight, dude. The Arlovsky fight where he's taunting and it's like,
He's just Dominican, dude. That's what Dominican guys do.
Dude, I grew up around Dominicans, bro. He's a fucking, as an individual, he's a piece of shit. Like, nah, I don't like him. I don't like him. And the only time he fought an even decent opponent, he lost, which is Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Like, that's his only loss, like, in his whole career, was to De Lima. And this is the thing, June 7th, so the card after this, he's fighting Spivak. Spivak's going to tear through him. Spivak.
Tear through him.
Dude, Spivak's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. Dude, especially after what Almeida did.
Spivak.
Dude, Spivak, the way he beat Tybura in that second fight, bro. Like, now, there's,
that's a good stylistic matchup for him, though.
No, he lost their first fight. Remember, that was a rematch.
Yeah, but that was because he fought because he's a retard. If he fought to his skills correctly,
he's not a retard anymore, dude. He got that armbar.
Still kind of. He just listened to his coach. He went, all right. I decided to do what I wanted in the first one and lost. I'll actually listen to my coaches.
Yeah. But that, I mean,
when he does not react well to getting popped right in the mouth.
Yeah, but Cortez Acosta though doesn't have that kind of power, dude. That's the thing.
He got that volume though, dude.
Yeah, but Spivak can take him down and sub him, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, Cortez Acosta is not a grappler. He just knew that.
Good cardio though for heavyweight.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like Spivak doesn't, honestly. I mean, I just think Spivak gets a finish, bro. But anyway, we'll talk about that fight.
Split decision, dude, for that fight.
Nah, fuck that. We'll be talking about that next week, dude.
Fucking, next week? Nice.
Yeah, it's next week, yeah. So anyway, Billy Ray Goff knocks Brahimaj out. That's TKO, what I see.
Probably by drowning.
Yeah. Waterboarding.
Yeah.
I mean, Goff's good, and he's 9
to TKO. That's why
9-3 is not a great record. I mean, granted, he came in with 2 losses, his 3rd and 4th fight. That's I think he's
what are you coming 6-2?
No, he can't. No, he's had. So he would have had. So he's had 2 fights. So no, he came in 7-2.
7-2.
No, I'm sorry. He would have come in. 7-2. Yeah.
So he's 6-2 in contender.
No, he would have been 8 no. He would have been sorry. He would have been 7-2 in contender, and then because if he's
you're right.
He won the contender fight.
With records like that.
I mean, having 2 losses. And then having a very impressive contender series fight, and then winning your first fight by finish in the UFC. Trey Waters is really good. That's a respectable loss. I think he needs the win. Brahimaj sucks. Everything lines up for Goff to be a lock and win this fight. Yeah. All right, co-main, dude. So this, honestly, the co-main is Mateusz Gamrot versus Leavitt Klein. Now, here's what I'm gonna say about this fight, right? I've never been a fan of Gamrot, but he's undeniably had some great fights. Not recently necessarily, but also, I don't know that he's in decline. I mean, he's 34, but he's undeniably a really good fighter. You good?
My stupid freaking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm at the worst angle ever. Dude, I thought he looked really bad against Jalen Turner. He got the win by split decision. Fiziev cracked his foot throwing a kick that cracked his foot on Gamrot's elbow. Against Dos Anjos, it's that's Rafael Dos Anjos in 2024, and it's going to a decision when Jeff Neal fucking flatline KO'd him. The Dan Hooker fight was not supposed to be a win for Dan Hooker in Gamrot's mind, because he did what he would do against a striker and, wrestled. Dan Hooker managed to get back to his feet and turn the tables, right? And, and the thing about that is Dan Hooker's everybody's hero for that, because the way that Gamrot fought that fight and has fought a lot of fights is the way, it's basically, not that different from a Mario Batista holding, or a Bruno Lopez versus Gadzhi Zulov, Now, here's the thing, right? For Gamrot to be on the chopping block, against Ludovic Klein, who honestly has looked progressively worse, even though he's been winning, he's looked progressively worse in his last few fights. He had that knockout over that fucking Southern guy from the South, AJ Cunningham, right? He beat Bahamondes, okay? That draw against Jai Herbert was stupid. But he beat Mason Jones. He did get finished. He got subbed by Nate Landwehr in his second UFC fight, but he was on an upward trajectory for a while. Bahamondes win is a good one. But the AJ Cunningham knockout first round was good. Thiago Moises, right? Now, yeah, that was basically sodomy. He controlled the fuck out of him, right? But he didn't get a finish. Jared Gordon just knocked out Moises in the first round, right? Now, Ludovic Klein, 30-27, he had him on the ground a lot. He only one takedown, 3 minutes of control time, right? Moises was basically helpless. Although he did actually almost have a sub for a hot second, right, against Klein. So that was, that was not a particularly impressive performance by Klein. Then he looked like shit last September against Roosevelt Roberts, which, that to me is now to get this shot at the rankings that he's getting against Gamrot, that Roosevelt Roberts fight in my mind, should have needed to be just what a Roosevelt Roberts fight should look like, just a performance bonus earning finish, right? Here, I'm looking at this pre-fight odds on Ludovic Klein he was a -1,000 favorite against Roosevelt Roberts, and that was a very point that. He was ahead. He stayed ahead of him on strikes, and the two judges had a 29-28. I had a 29-28. I thought Roosevelt Roberts had a round, and coming off of that, it's and it's you look at that fight, you look at the Moises fight. AJ Cunningham was a short notice replacement, that Klein finished. The bottom line of this fight, yeah, but that was 2023. I think Ludovic Klein is overrated, to be honest. I think Gamrot I don't like Gamrot the way I think Gamrot has been overrated himself. I don't think that he's I think all it takes is somebody I'd like to see Gamrot fights a bad stylistic matchup like Yoel Alvarez or something, right? To where he, who would, what?
If he loses, that might be his next fight.
Right. Well, I don't think he's gonna lose. I think that I think he's just a better fighter all around. Maybe even a better striker, honestly. And he's definitely more seasoned.
Not by Beneil Dariush.
Yeah, but that was back when Beneil Dariush wasn't trash. Sorry, Cheddarhead.
Dude, Beneil has never been that good.
Yeah. Once again, sorry, Cheddarhead. But yeah, your cousin Beneil is not he's not gonna win against Moicano. But anyway.
Beneil's garbage, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think so too. Especially now.
Every time he won, I always just thought less of the guy who lost to him. I never thought Beneil looked good. I was like, oh, this guy's career is over.
No, yeah, for sure. One thing I will say though, So one thing I'm going to say about Gamrot going into this fight is he's a more seasoned fighter in the UFC. Okay. He's beaten like he like ups and downs or whatever, right? Like he has everything to lose. And because if you think about what happens to Gamrot if he loses this fight, like it's over for him. Like
Over. I don't know about over, but
yeah, because then it's like you said, then then he's getting served up to prospects, and the prospects of lightweight right now are fucking like you got some fucking really good ones, right? The thing is that Gamrot he's going into this fight. He's not trying to win. He's trying to finish Leavitt Klein and prove a
rank
point.
is Gamrot?
What is he, 8 or something? 7 or 8, 6, 7, 8.
You know, if you were to lose, but I would love to see him fight because I think he'd be too far apart if he won. It's Chase Hooper. Gamrot versus Hooper would be sick.
That's a great fight, and I think that, dude, I want that to happen as badly as I would like to see, because the Dan Hooker fight, I mean, that's a stylistic mismatch, which is great. I love stylistic mismatches because it really tests both fighters. I think Dan Hooker, the reason that people are so all about Dan Hooker all of a sudden after that fight is because not only because he defeated somebody whose style is annoying and boring and unpopular, right? But because, he wins it, the winner of a stylistic mismatch, has proven something, and so I'd like to see Gamrot fight, like I said, Yoel Alvarez.
That'd be a good one too.
That'd be a great fight. But also, but Chase Hooper too. I mean, that'd be a good.
Yeah, I agree with you though. I just feel like he should beat Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein he has looked like people are saying his takedown defense looks better, but when I went back and watched some of his fights, nobody's really going for the takedown like Gamrot's.
Yeah, true. And also it's like, and it's like, I mean, can you imagine what I mean on the ground? Let's say he gets Gamrot down, right? The way he got Moises down.
Maybe.
Okay. Gamrot, I'm sorry, but Gamrot is, in his element. Even if Gamrot throws a fucking kick that misses and fucking, Klein takes him to the ground because he's off balance, right? Gamrot's still
He's a good scrambler,
Yeah, and it's like, honestly, bro, it's like neither, despite having, he's a good scrambler. He's on the ground too much for a guy with no subs, basically, or one maybe two, Gamrot. But dude, Ludovic Klein, he's not he can take people down, but he can't. He had openings. I rewatched the Moises fight, bro. There were, I counted 6, but but that's me being hard on him. There were 3 submission openings where it's where you're just like, well, why not? Why aren't you doing this? There's no reason, but you just don't see it, which you should, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For him to sub Moises, and against Gamrot, it's just Gamrot's gonna make sure to rack up control time if they're on the ground. I think Gamrot could finish him. I think he could ground and pound finish him. I think he's gonna be trying to get a finish to prove a point because nobody who's in Gamrot's position likes to be matched up with someone outside the rankings because he's like, all right, I know what this is.
Yeah.
So that to me is that's my case for Gamrot, which I mean, I hate to even have to make one, but
Yeah. I feel like he's just gonna rinse and repeat takedowns until it's only 15 minutes. He's already shown he can do it for 25 before, and he's not that old. He'll probably just rinse repeat takedowns to a decision.
He's only Ludovic Klein is 30 or 31, dude. Gamrot's only 34. I mean, it's not an age thing.
He's not that much older yet, so I think he's still got a good 15 minutes of grappling in him, and and Klein sucks at grappling, kind of.
Dude, Klein, he's terrible. He's terrible. Like,
Yeah, I figure
that's what
Gamrot will probably get a decision or break him down for a sub.
I think Gamrot. I think Gamrot is going to fight very aggressively because, I mean, it's like psychology, emotion, that kind of thing. It's like if even relevant in my mind is always secondary to who's the better fighter and why, and trying to see the fight in my head. But in this case, and in this case, actually, yeah, sure, it's second. I mean, Gamrot's just fight acumen is better all around. I would say, but on top of that, you have someone that, like, I mean, nobody wants to be in the Neil Magny spot. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
You saw how much Jared Cannonier didn't want to be in the Neil Magny spot when he finished RoboCop. Like, I mean, and arguably, lost a kind of bullshit early stoppage against the Malov, although I feel the Malov would have won that fight regardless. You know what I mean? So I think Gamrot's gonna. I mean, does he? I think he's gonna try to finish him at least. But yeah, Gamrot's gonna win. It's either gonna be a unanimous decision or some kind of finish. Problem, like, if he finishes him, it'll probably be like, ground and pound TKO, something like that.
Oh, I don't think it'd be ground and pound. I think the only way he gets a finish is if Klein quits and gives up a sub.
Gamrot's just not, dude. He just doesn't sub people. He for somebody who spends so much time on it. Does he have more TKOs or subs? He doesn't have many finishes, bro.
Yeah, I don't remember him ever finishing anybody ever. Even in KSW, I don't remember him ever finishing anybody.
No, he's got. I think, yeah, I remember not in the UFC, but he had some rear naked choke over somebody, but I can't fucking remember. But anyway, but either way, it's gonna be Gamrot. It's just like Ludovic Klein. And it's like, people say you're only as good as your last fight. That's not true at all. But, Ludovic Klein, I mean, his last fight and the fight before that, the fight before that, he knocked out a short notice opponent who was making his debut. I mean, that's, So, yeah, dude, I'm on Gamrot. All right. Main event, bro.
The main event of the year, dude.
Yeah.
The main event.
The long-awaited matchup that everyone thought would never happen, the controversy, the storyline, just the fucking the petition signed for this fight to happen, and no one wanted it. No one in control wanted it, but the people wanted it. All right, and now we get to see it, bro. It's crazy. It's almost like a dream. Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber in a 5-round main event.
Dude, isn't that insane?
It's abysmal, dude. It's spiritually debilitating. Is honestly like,
yeah. I can't believe I'm gonna watch this.
See, the thing is, I'm gonna watch it because, this is the thing, right? It's
I'm addicted.
I'm not. Yeah, dude. It's like I do. I like MMA to the point where I will watch this fight. This fight in particular, bro, is this is one where I have to admit, if not for, if I wasn't a gambler, right, I might not give a fuck. If I wasn't a gambler and I also didn't have my predictions tracked, and all that on YouTube, and there wasn't a competitive element in that respect, I might fucking, after Gamrot wins, I might just fucking go do something else. But I will watch this main event. For those reasons. And because, you know what? Aaron Blanchfield, dude, that Jessica Andrade sub, she has I think this could end with her. I mean, it could be a boring 5-round unanimous decision for her. But against Rose, but it could be an early sub. It could be a first round sub, honestly. Because I mean, Aaron Blanchfield, Macy Barber is fucked. You know, she's fucked on the ground against Aaron Blanchfield. Yeah, like I mean, you know, more or less. Do you disagree? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Do you disagree?
It's close. It's a close matchup, in my opinion.
Really?
I think it's a pretty close matchup. Yeah, because I don't know. Barber just doesn't. She's been taken down by wrestlers before and just kind of hung in there.
Yeah,
And
but
Blanchfield's shown that she like fades and gets tired, and if she can't keep,
I mean, dude, has she though? Because I mean, she went 5 rounds and won against Rose Namajunas. I think she lost to Filho, like I was saying before, because of the size difference and the power difference. Filho just imposed her physical, that was literally just, I mean, that was almost like a weight.
Rose hasn't really got the best cardio either, though.
True. I mean, although she's bad, I hate to say she's better at flyweight because of how she beat what's her name?
Zhang
No, not Zhang Weili.
Tracy Cortez.
No. When she first won the strawweight belt, what's her name? Like the evil bitch, the one that everyone said when they said it was like the devil and an angel fighting, in the face-offs, and the one that Joanna, whatever. She was Polish. She was strawweight champion for a while. Joanna. Yeah, her. Rose knocked her out in the first round. And won the belt. But also those.
So early at women's MMA that it's like those. I don't think Rose was ever really that good, to be honest.
She had her. Yeah. I mean, regardless, she had her day. Whatever. Maybe she was. It doesn't matter.
She was in the era where you just had to have a couple skills and you could get wins.
Yeah, but she had her finishes though.
Yeah, like with one of her 4 skills she has.
True that. I mean, I'm not trying to make a case for Rose Namajunas, except that it's a respectable.
I'm gonna take Barber just because
Are you really?
I think Barber's gonna.
Because you want to have a disagreement.
I gotta have one different one, and
I mean,
Barber,
dude, honestly, it's like if you're gonna
I could see her winning it. I could see her winning it barely, eking by a split decision if she's going to, because.
How does she stop Blanchfield from taking her to the ground and subbing her if Jessica Andrade couldn't do it?
I think because Jessica Andrade is not that good of a grappler, and I think that Macy Barber she's not that great of a grappler, honestly. She gets out grappled by.
She's better than Barber, bro. I mean,
I don't know. Barber nowadays, I feel like Barber defensively is a better.
Well, Jessica Andrade, you could argue that Jessica Andrade is because she alternates between strawweight and flyweight. I mean, even still though, dude, that submission that Blanchfield got, bro, was very I mean, her jiu-jitsu is super clean. Who?
Jessica Andrade's grappling defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sure, but Blanchfield's jiu-jitsu is very clean. The thing against Rose is like she lost, I believe. I'm trying to remember that fight. She lost. She was basically just outpointed, but she was down. I think she was down. Fuck. I'm trying to remember, dude. Was that like a 48-47 win for Blanchfield against Rose? Or I think it went. Nah, I think it was a little bit more dominant. But Blanchfield, that's the thing. It's like
48-47. Yeah.
I mean, regardless, dude, I think Blanchfield's. I mean, you're saying the Blanchfield may have a cardio problem. I think that fight kind of makes a case against that, but I don't know if Barber.
Rose, dude, if you're barely, what didn't Rose steal a later round against her? I should have watched that one back, but I don't have it in me to go back and rewatch a Rose Namajunas fight. That's a level of discipline I don't possess.
There's a dude like it will go down. It's gone. It already is. But I mean, it's like what's the worst? What is the worst 5-round fight in all of UFC at least.
The top three are definitely her versus Carla,
That
Israel
her versus Carla,
Adesanya.
her versus Carla, and then
Israel
it's like,
Adesanya versus Yoel Romero is just as bad.
Well, and Derek Lewis versus Ngannou, I would say.
That was 5 rounds?
No, it wasn't. But
that was 3.
Okay, that gets an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I think. Yeah, but anyway,
and William Knight versus Marcin Prachnio. That was
that was a 3-round fight, and that's the only proven instance of corruption, but it wasn't even real corruption. William Knight literally had his brother-in-law bet on him to lose by unanimous decision. I believe that was later proven because they cut him right after. And I remember whoever it was, announcing Paul Felder, whoever's like, oh, William Knight seems to have decided not to fight.
Nuts.
That kind of.
I'm gonna take Macy Barber split decision.
40, I think you're crazy, bro. I think you're crazy. How?
Probably.
What does she have for Blanchfield, bro?
I think she can defend against the sub long enough to win a couple rounds.
But that's but then you're still counting on her outstriking her? Is she better on? You think she's better on the feet like that?
Yeah. Blanchfield's not very good on the feet. She's very. You can see Blanchfield decide, I'm gonna throw this strike and then throw it. She just right before she does it, she stops for half a second, thinks I'm gonna throw this and then throws it. She's very, very bad and robotic.
I see what you're saying. There's the two things about that though is okay, so after losing to Filho, it's okay, she's got to be, you got to imagine, right, that she's fucking. I mean, because Erin Blanchfield's young, and she's got her eyes on the title eventually. So it's she's got to be trying to fill any gaps in her fighting game, so you got to imagine she's doing a lot of striking, in camp. But the other thing is that
I just don't think she's got the build to be good at striking or the mechanics to be good at striking. There's some people and some fighters where it's it doesn't matter how long you try to do it, you're just not gonna be able to do it.
I mean, I agree with that, but you can get to a point okay, so for example, the Alex Pereira, right? The best it doesn't matter that he moved to Connecticut and basically spends all his time training with Glover Teixeira. The best the sum of his grappling is going to just be takedown defense. He's he became an MMA fighter too late in life. He's a kickboxer and he's always going to be a kickboxer. I mean,
a good example, but there are people who literally just cannot generate power. They just can't do it.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the opposite, where it's somebody's coming from a grappling base, picking up really good striking, and I mean that's definitely a thing. Although a fight that I mean, I think that Macy Barber is just not even that good of a striker. I mean,
no, not really. But Erin Blanchfield's really bad at striking.
It's is she that terrible though? It's
she's pretty bad at striking. Yeah. It's pretty bad.
She is. I mean, she's bad enough that she's going to try to take it to the ground, and even it's she is a very good grappler. She's such a good grappler that even if she shoots a double leg and Barber's able to defend, Blanchfield will literally hold on to her body until she gets her to the ground, and once she's got her on the ground, it's fucked. Barber's.
I think Barber's going to also go for takedowns and maybe not get them, maybe even get reversed, but just her going for it is gonna be enough for Blanchfield to be oh shit, what do I do here? And then she's gonna lose some minutes, and I think Barber's gonna get the decision.
Interesting. I mean, I would I'm not gonna call that a crazy take, but I mean, dude, maybe I'll be and tomorrow I might be eating my fucking words, but I think it's am I gonna lock Blanchfield? I don't know yet. I'll know. I'll know probably in like a few hours because I got, once again, dude, last minute. I mean, this is this video will be up today. In fact, like I'm gonna, yeah, because like, dude, that last one got a lot of views because I swept the card. So it's like, and I did a live stream about like, all right, like here's what went into this. But yeah, dude, so many accusations of botting. It's like, fuck. It's like, yeah, it's like I don't even care anymore. Like, but if I do ever figure out how to buy subs, which I'm not actively trying to do, they're all going to Paradox and you.
No, don't do that because then it ruins your channel.
I know. It's just like, I'm buying. It's like, when is
you want to buy someone you hate, dude? Like old boy that right? Won't say his name, dude, but you know he.
Yeah, no, I know. Actually, you could be talking about one or two people, but
both of them. Then fuck it, fuck
them both of them. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh my god, like, I have so many fans, and then it's like a month later, it's like, that they have like 40K subs, and then a month later, they're all gone overnight.
Yeah. I don't know why people still think that'll work ever.
Dude, it's crazy because like I read this so like because for the longest time it's like I get accused of this shit and then like I'd be like, yo, what do I have to show in my analytics that definitively proves or disproves this, right? And no one could tell me. They're just like, they're just like, oh, your engagement's not like this, that, the third. It's like, bro, like, okay, like, can you show me something that says like, botting subs is, it's definite by like whatever. But I mean, yeah, whatever. Like eventually, like I'll give my channel away to somebody, and I mean, but it's like I've already shown my analytics on so many streams. I've probably shown my analytics more than any other.
Another guy named Giuliano.
What's up?
It'd be wild, dude. You just give it somebody and they'd look at it and be like, oh, Giuliano. And you'd be like, yeah, that's not me. That was some other guy.
No. Yeah, but so when I say like give my channel away, it's like I could get like, let's say I gave it to somebody, like they could just change everything. Like they could just make their channel with my channel, but have all my subs and all my shit.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, no, you could do that. Yeah, that'll be my ultimate act of not charity, but maybe charity. Depends who it is. But anyway, like all right, dude. You're taking all right, so we have one disagreement. It's the main event.
The main event.
All right, bro.
I'm not even that strong on it, but I'm gonna go for it, dude. Macy Barber, send it. Because I just don't have any faith in Blanchfield like that either. So.
See, I do actually. I do, dude. I think that. I mean, I really
doesn't have that look in her eyes, dude. She doesn't have that fire in her eyes like some of them. Like you see in some of those girls. She doesn't have the look in there.
I mean, I think she's young. I think she's young.
That's basing it off, dude. She hasn't got the look. That's where of my whole.
And she's not. And also she's what else? She's not quite hideous enough.
Like, she's not ugly enough. She's not ugly enough to win this fight. But they're both kind of about the same level of look.
I mean, Blanchfield's from New Jersey, which means that she'll never be truly great at anything. Ooh. But she could win this fight. She will win this fight. I'm pretty confident, but how she wins. I mean, I could see a first, second, third round sub, but I could also see it being a boring ass decision. I just don't see it going to not after losing to Filho because she was on a tear, bro. That's the thing. It's like that gets interrupted. It's like you're like almost always your next fight is like, you're all fucking in, especially because they're giving her a main event. Like,
right.
I mean, why the fuck wouldn't Ludovic Klein versus Gamrot be the main event?
Yeah, I'd rather that than the main event.
Of course.
Then I'd really be on Gamrot.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like, it's like, you know, I mean, that's another thing where that's you talk about like looking, you know, somebody having like no tomorrow in their eyes. Like, Gamrot's like he's got to be salty over everything about this matchup. You know?
Yeah, probably. All right, you ready
But,
to wrap up?
yeah, bro. Yo, take it easy, class. And yeah, I'll be live in a bit. Like I said, dude, yo, anytime I say I'm going live, like if you're
Yeah, tap me in,
available,
brother.
yeah, dude, always. All
Hell
right,
yeah.
dude, take it easy.
Talk to you later, bud.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All right, fucking stop this.